of Change Chat. Just hopping on for a few minutes to say hello, see what's going on, taking a quick break from grading and getting some of that stuff done. But how's everybody doing tonight? What is going on in your worlds? I've been doing a lot of things with the Note Air 4 or Note Air 5C, excuse me, and with the Note Max. I've been daily driving those, and of course, it's heavy grading season. So I'm really using the Note Max here to grade papers and would be curious if any of you all are having the same ghosting issues that I'm having on the device. And I kind of mentioned this in the Discord community. I talked a little bit about how I'm on the beta and they have a 4.11 beta right now. And it's been, uh, yeah, there's been quite a bit of ghosting on it. They said they'd fixed it, but so Tierney, welcome to the stream. I actually teach at the college level, so I teach leadership, and I teach for several different universities. And of course, this is the end of the term. One of my classes is already completed, but I have two more wrapping up. And so I've been using, I tend to assign quite a few papers. And for me, I prefer to do a lot of that on, um, oh, and Aaron says, I was in the middle of recording, but I had to stop in to say hi. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm just on for a couple of minutes to kind of test out this new setup a little bit again, these different camera angles, but also to get a sense for maybe, what everybody's up to. And yeah, thank you, Tierney. Appreciate it. But yeah, definitely, I like to assign a lot of papers, and so the Note Max is kind of that ideal size for me to be able to grade with. And I prefer to handwrite my annotations and different things like that, and also embed comments. So I kind of do a mixture of both and then try to summarize it. So just in case there's some accessibility issues and someone needs to have the comments read to them, I try to do both things to make sure that I have a good cross section of what's going on. And I am going to switch camera views here occasionally just to test this out. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Like I said, daily driving the Note Max for grading. Also trying to use the Note Air 5C as my note taker. At least currently, I'm doing that. Running into a few friction points, but overall, it's doing pretty well. And I've also been changing that out occasionally for the Go 10.3. And I did notice, and I mentioned this in the Discord to several people I talked to. And if you haven't signed up for the Discord or anything, please, feel free to do so because we've got a pretty good community. All you need to do is be a YouTube member uh, a or YouTube member, which is my um, insider tier. It's only $1 a month. And the same, I have a Patreon insider. It's also $1 a month. So you can sign up either place and get access to the Discord. And we have a lot of good conversations on there. Let's see. Aaron says the Note Max is large, but I can see it being good size for what I do. Yeah, for what I do, it's amazing. The problem is, or not really a problem, but the challenge is it only that one trick pony? Is it something that I really want to pull out in a meeting and take notes on? And I don't know yet. I haven't really done a lot with it that way. So I'm trying to figure that out and figure out what the best use case for it is. I still like that 10.3, 10.65 form factor for a lot of my general note taking. And I plan to also try just for note taking to use the Nomad a bit when I get to that point. Let's see. Tierney also says, I still have a Go 10.3 and Supernote Nomad. Did you hear what happened to KitBet's Masters page? I hope YouTube helps. Well, great news on that. That's another reason that I popped on, Tierney, is the kit is back up and running. If you go to my page, you'll see that I reposted a post from him. He said he's back up and running. He's going to have to replace his thumbnails. He's also, I guess, and I didn't see that, but I guess there was a cryptocurrency live stream when they hacked him that they put out there, and I guess it caught a lot of people. So he's, trying to recover from all of that. And he mentioned possibly doing a live stream tomorrow, and hopefully he's able to do that and get that up and running. Kit's a good friend. He's been a huge supporter of mine, a huge fan of mine. I can't say enough good things about him. He's, again, back when I had less than 500 subscribers, I believe, was when he had me on his channel, and we talked about uh, somebody just mentioned me on one of his live streams, and next thing you know, I'm on his live stream talking to him, and he's doing an interview with me. So pretty cool. He's a real giving person. I really enjoy him. He's very supportive of the community, and I think that's why we all rallied around him once we heard about this. Not just that we wouldn't rally about anybody who got hacked, but I think the fact that he was so much out there promoting all of us and really kind of participating with us in the different things that we do. We just all took it almost personally when somebody did that to him. So thank you to all of those who reposted, liked, anything you can do to help him out. Go back and like old videos, share those back out, try to get him up and running again. He must have lost some revenue during all of this because his channel's been down, and he really does so much. So I really can't say anything other than that he didn't deserve this. Nobody does, but he really does support the community. Yeah, Aaron, he is. He is a good dude. He really is. A lot of fun. I've had fun every time I've interacted with him, and he's always been even supportive beyond just having me on his show. Just if I've had advice, if I've had things that I wanted to ask him, he's given me a lot of different advice over the years. So what else is going on with you all? Somebody let me know, are you running into this issue with the Note Max and ghosting? And maybe it's not just the Note Max, maybe it's on some of the other devices. I really notice it on the Note Max. If I come off of the home screen, I get a lot of issues with it uh, just leaving my screensaver on there, and then when I go to switch to my quick launcher and then back to my main app screen, I it's keeping all those remnants, and that's even when I'm using the speed mode, even when I turn off uh, the high contrast. It doesn't matter. I'm constantly getting that issue. It seems like it's a little better in notes and not as bad as it had been, but I haven't used it enough yet to really notice that. Neo Reader seems to be okay as well so far with the papers I've been grading. I haven't noticed as much ghosting in Neo Reader. But again, anybody who's got any insights on that, I would appreciate it. Uh, yeah, Tierney, it is great news, and that was one of the reasons I hopped on tonight, just to share that news for anybody who may not have seen it. I know I don't have near the following of Kid. I mean, he's well over 10 times larger than my channel, almost 20 times. So, but what little bit I can do, I like to throw it out there and get people engaged and let them know how to support him and how to support the broader community. Let me know what you think of this camera angle. Do you like this one? Did you like the other one better? Which is my other shot here. This is the more traditional shot. This is how I normally talk to the camera, but I'm just curious on what you think of this and versus the other shot. And then I'm going to start using my phone as my top-down camera. So I've bought a mechanical arm to be able to do that. And so we'll see how that works out. But let me know what you think, and we can go from there. Let me pop back over because I want to be able to look at my screen, and this is where I have everything right now. But this is the Caesar camera. It's called the Halo. It actually has two cameras, and you can switch between the two. So you could manually switch if you had somebody, and it has two microphone inputs as well. Let's see. And Aaron says, how much of this is just ghosting that we get with the ink? No, Aaron, this is different. At least it seems a lot different to me. I don't notice this level of ghosting on the Go 10.3 or on the, definitely not on the Supernote. And the Supernote's running that Carta 1300 screen just like the Note Max. The difference is it's Mobius, and the screen on the Note Max um, is glass. So I'm not sure if that plays a factor. It shouldn't, that I would think of from a ghosting perspective. But I've been going back and forth with Jay in the Discord, and we've kind of had some conversation. And I've just tried to look at some of the different refresh modes and see if I can get it to lessen. And the fact that Kit had to send his Note Max back, and he still hasn't gotten it, he still hasn't received it back from Books, tells me there may be another issue at play here. So I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be across the entire device. And that's another thing that has me wondering, is there still some software tweaking they have to do? Is it mainly on the home screen? Is it mainly just coming out of that sleep state and you get that remnant? But it gets really bad. Like I said, it doesn't seem to be as bad in notes. It seems to have cleared up a little bit there. It's mostly on the home screen now where I'm noticing it the worst. And no matter which mode I'm in, and whether I set it to deep refresh or anything else. Um, and Javier, thanks for this. You said you're not having a problem with your unit, and that's why I wonder if it's a hardware or a software thing, or if it's different on the uh, the settings, because I've been playing around with them and trying to figure it out. And I'm also on the newest beta, and it seems to have gotten worse on the home screen on the beta. Um, and Tierney says, appreciate your videos on the Supernote Digest. Well, thank you. The one digest I did was very long. I'm in the process, and I'm hoping to get this done along with all of my different books reviews that I'm going to have uh, over the break. I'm going to try to break up that big long video that I have of the Supernote Digest into three smaller videos. So it'll still be, and I'll probably add some pre and post and a couple of different things to that, just because I think it's almost too big. I mean, it's gotten a lot of views, and it's got 29 chapters, so it's not hard to navigate and find what you need. But at the same time, there may be people who are only interested in the Supernote digest on the device, or who are only interested in the digest on the partner app on the PC, and likewise on the mobile. So I'm going to try to figure out the best way. I've already got it into Riverside. I've begun to think about it and try to figure out the best way to chop that up into multiple mid-sized clips. So maybe 20 minutes or so, or because it's about an hour and 20 minutes total. So either 20 or 30 minutes or 25 minutes each to come up with something really good here. And Aaron says, see, I don't pay attention to the ghosting on the Note Air 4C. Is a little worse than the 10.3, but they both seem to be working good for me. Yeah, the Go 10.3, to me, the hardest thing on it is that flash of that handwriting. It really bothers me, and I don't know how to get around it. I did not notice it on the Note Air 5C today. So when I was using that to take some notes during several meetings, I didn't notice the anti-aliasing flashing like it does on the Go 10.3. And ghosting doesn't bother me too much. The reason it bothers me so much on the Note Max, and before they fixed the Notes app in this update, it was atrocious. I mean, it was awful. Every time you switched a page, you had to manually refresh, or else you saw all of your handwriting as a ghosting remnant. And it was really, really bad. So it's better in the Notes app. It seems to be better in the Neo Reader. Now it's the home screen. So I'm hoping, since it's a beta, that maybe Books is taking all that into account and really fine tuning those settings and trying to get that taken care of. Um, yeah, I'll try and catch that on video actually, Aaron, during my review, or when these upcoming reviews, when it comes to the Books products, because it's there, and it's because I'm so intensely writing when I'm writing something that I'm looking at it most of the time. I mean, if I'm taking notes during the meeting, I don't notice it as much. But if I'm watching a webinar and taking notes, I'm watching the actual text more, and it pops up and is just, it's just annoying, is the only thing I can say about it. The writing feel I actually prefer on the Go 10.3 to the Note Air 5C, at least so far. And I think that that's something that, as I continue to use these devices more and more, if I had to off the cuff quickly rank them, I'd say I enjoy writing on the Note Max the most as far as the feel of the screen. Then it would go to the 10.3, then it would go to the Note Air 5C, which is funny because the Go 10.3 isn't a Note series, but it still has some kind of protective film and writing surface on it, and I just think that makes a difference. But thanks for all of this. Thanks for letting me know, what you all think, what you've got going on, because I like to know I'm not alone in these either ghosting issues or lack thereof. And maybe it is a settings issue, and I'll find out. I'm not going to sit there and say that it's bad until I've put it through and tried everything I can. Let's see. Aaron says, I use the 10.3 to write my book. Maybe it's because I'm focused on writing, but I will see if I notice it later tonight. Yeah, and what I would do, Aaron, I'm not, just out of curiosity, you'll have to let me know if you have the anti-aliasing. I can't remember the exact setting, but you have to turn that on. And once you do that, it that's when I notice it. If I turn that off, if I turn that setting off, then it doesn't do that quick refresh as I'm writing. And it seems like it does it every time I pick up my pencil or every time I pick up my stylus, every time I do that. Um, let's see. Aaron says the 10.3 and Note Max should be their own class of books tablets. I hate to agree with you, not because I hate to agree with you, but because Books has enough classes of tablets. I really think that I still am never going to understand why the 10.3 wasn't a Note device, or why the Note Max wasn't a Go Max. I don't understand the naming convention there. I really don't. I don't know why they did that. They look like the same device, only one's larger and one's smaller. So to me, it makes zero sense why you would have them in a different category. I just don't understand that. That would be like the Supernote having two devices, which they do, like the Nomad and the Manta, and then calling one something totally different as far as the type of device and having a different screen feel. And quite frankly, the Go 10.3, I don't like that it has the Note OS or the Note UI. Sorry, not OS, but the Note UI. It's okay, but I prefer the UI on the Note series. And let me go back a minute. The 10.3 has, I don't even know what UI you would call that. Maybe that's the Go series, that's the UI, because it has that side panel. It doesn't have widgets. It doesn't have an app-like experience like you would on a smartphone or on any other Android device, really. And that surprises me. And I don't know why they did it that way. And Aaron says, I might have that off on the 10.3. I haven't touched settings on the 10.3 in months. Yeah, I would be curious if you do turn it on, Aaron. Just let me know if you notice that flashing, because I will say once it flashes, it renders my handwriting very nicely. So it does smooth it out. It makes it look even better. Kind of like the criticism I've heard of Remarkable that the anti-aliasing is kind of rough on that. Uh, and Supernote used to be. And then, of course, their solution kind of does it in the background, but I don't see a flash when they do it. Um, and then I think it's because Books has so many tablets they pull from the China market, they just put it in the Go series. Yeah, maybe. I just there comes a point where you need to consider your market. I mean, they're renaming them for this market and Western markets, so they should maybe try to think of a way to make those naming conventions work a little bit better. At least so you know what you're getting. And China has a 10.3C that never made it to our market. That would be interesting because if it's a 10.3C, isn't that really like the, or are you saying it's like a Go? Because the Note Air 5C or 4C or 3C would have been that product, wouldn't it, Aaron? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems like it would be. Tierney says, I set the Go 10.3 like a magic piece of paper while I'm writing. Like a magic. I don't know what you mean by that. So let me know, Tierney, what that means, like a magic piece of paper. Yeah, so let me know what that means because I'm not sure. Use it as a display or something like that. Oh, it's okay. Aaron says it's called the Go 10.3C. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I just wonder what the difference on that would be. Um, and, I mean, I think that I would really, I mean, I don't know if I would like it because I'm still, the jury's still out for me on color. I love the Note Air 5C. I think it's a brilliant device. Not sure if I want to have a color tablet in my life, but I do like it and it's pretty cool. But to me, losing EMR isn't worth the sacrifice. So if you went to like the Note Max C and that became a Kaleido screen with the EMR pin, I think that would be really cool. And then Tierney says, I wish the Tab XC was a Go. I don't need a whole computer. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the Tab XC, I don't have any real reference point other than it's trying to be that one and done tablet. And I think that that's where Books gets themselves into, I don't want to say trouble, but where they overextend maybe a little bit is that they try to make these things be a tablet replacement and they're just not meant to be that in my at least to me. And that may, your use case may vary, what you do with it may vary, but I don't need this to be an iPad replacement. It's never going to do that. It's never going to make that. So it's never going to make that happen. So for me, I think that's where they're trying really hard to do that. And I think it's fun to type on, but I can get that same look and feel with a Bluetooth typewriter or a Bluetooth keyboard. And I don't know why I would want to do it the other way. So, well, anyway, everybody, I just hopped on for a couple of minutes, wanted to test everything out again, make sure that all of this was working properly. It seems like my camera angles are doing okay. Next test I'll probably do will be after I'm done grading, and I'll probably test with my phone as my top-down camera, and maybe we'll look at a few devices and try to do a few things that way. But until next time, thank you all for hopping on. Thanks for engaging me. Thanks for your chats, your chat messages. Please continue the conversation down in the comments. Say hello, stop by. And until next time, I will talk to you all later. Keep on moving forward. Bye now.